Welcome back. You're watching Markets at Noon on ET Now, and let's bring on board the management of RateGain Travel Technologies. That particular account made its debut on Dalal Street today, but with a discount. We're joined by Mr. Bhanu Chopra, who's the Chairman and Managing Director at the company. Good afternoon, Mr. Chopra. Thank you so much for joining us on ET Now. Since you've actually time and again mentioned that 95 to 99% of your revenues is recurring and that there is high stickiness among your clients. Take us through your client base expansion plans, as well as will this actually help drive your top line growth going ahead?
Absolutely. No, so as you mentioned, we have a very, very global and diversified client base. Most of our revenue comes from the US, about 65%, 15% comes from Europe, 15% from rest of the world, and the balance from India. We work with all the top hotel chains, specifically the top 23 out of the top 30 hotel chains, the top 25 out of the top 30 OTAs, all the leading car rental companies, cruise liners. So we have over 1,400 customers. So if you think of any major supplier or intermediary that's a RateGain customer today. And in terms of our growth plans, we have basically three different business lines. They are distribution, MarTech, and data as a service. And the penetration levels today, as you see, are less than 1%. So our growth strategy is to continue to penetrate the mid-market and the enterprise market, but also continue to gain a much, much larger lion share of our of the wallet of our customers as we continue to upsell and sell more products to them. We've been really innovating. We've launched 3 new products within this last year, which help our customers understand demand. Also introduce dynamic pricing for segments in travel that do not have, that are usually dependent on manual pricing or static pricing. And then thirdly, we continue to accelerate through our M&A plan. So given the repository of products that we continue to add through our inorganic and organic efforts, they give us the ability to gain a much, much larger lion share of wallet of our customers.
Right. We are actually seeing the rupee depreciate quite a bit against the dollar. It's fallen past the 76 per dollar mark. We all know that a depreciating rupee is beneficial for the IT companies. Could you tell us how would it benefit your company?
Yeah, absolutely. This is favorable to us because most of our cost base is out of India. So we are an India to the world company. So a significant part of our cost base does reside in India. So this is absolutely going to be beneficial to us because, as I mentioned earlier, most of our earnings are outside of India and they're mostly dollar denominated earnings.
Right. So your business is actually entirely based on COVID hit travel and hospitality sector. Take us through how your business will actually positively be impacted once the travel is actually back to the pre-COVID levels. Any number that you want to share with terms to expectations on revenue or EBIT margins once the sector is fully recovered?
So look, every time I speak to people and I ask them what is that one thing that they want to do as we come out of the pandemic, everybody's unanimous answer is that they want to travel. So is this pent up demand, I believe, is going to really lead to a very, very rapid recovery, almost what people are terming as revenge travel. So Focusrite, which is a premier research firm, has predicted that we should see almost 26% CAGR growth over the next 4 to 5 years. So my belief is travel actually is going to become the next big sectoral theme for the investors out there.
Right, Mr. Chopra. Let's talk about the acquisitions. So your company has undertaken quite a few acquisitions this year already. Could you walk us through your M&A plans going forward?
Yeah, so we have a very, very robust and a programmatic M&A plan that we run at RateGain. So the key considerations that we look at when we think about M&A is, our vision is to provide a RevMax platform that allows our customers to acquire guests, retain them, and have a wallet share expansion. So anything that sort of helps us speed up our product roadmap. We will look at assets like those. We've been extremely successful in getting deeper in certain key markets as a result of some of these acquisitions. So Disco and BCV that we acquired in US did two things. It got us much deeper in those particular markets with our customers, but also helped us acquire capability. So we will consider companies that help us get deeper in certain key markets of Europe and US for us. And third, opportunistically, we already, in everything that we do, we're amongst the top 3-4 players, but we will continue to look out at companies, that can help us consolidate further and gain a much, much larger dominance position in the marketplace.
Mr. Chopra, says 95% of your revenues actually comes from business outside India. Do you actually intend to increase the revenue share coming in from India?
I do see the revenue potential going up in India and specifically Southeast Asia, because when you think about all the new developments that are happening, I see a much, much larger opportunity here. But in terms of growth potential, we'll continue, our focus will continue to be in Europe and US. So while I do see the India revenue growing, expanding exponentially, I do see a lot of growth coming from our key markets as well. So as a percentage of share, I think it will continue to remain in similar proportions.
Lastly, Mr. Chopra, could you talk to us about your talent base? At present, IT companies, we all know, are actually struggling with high attrition rates. But considering that you're a SaaS company, are you actually facing supply side challenges with respect to talent holding? Also, are you offering any hikes to retain your employees?
So, well, look, we just did the IPO, and now a lot of our employees have ESOPs, and they're in the money, and it's a liquid currency. So that acts as a, great retention tool. But I can also tell you that besides the monetary benefits, it's also important to spend a lot of time on culture, and we spend an insane amount of time in, giving a great culture to employees. There is a huge amount of focus on creating a growth mindset, a learning culture. We are truly invested in helping people grow. So, we have a program where we internally promote, we give people a lot of challenging tasks and enable them through all different tools for them to be able to grow and support and launch multiple products that have a global impact.
All right, then, Mr. Chopra, we leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us on the show, talking more about your company that just made its debut on Dalal Street. Also, congratulations on that. That was Mr. Bhanu Chopra, who's the Chairman and Managing Director of RateGain Travel Technologies. On that note, we'll slip into a break in this edition of Markets at Noon, but stay tuned. There's lots lined up on the other side, so don't go anywhere.